What's up, everyone? This is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How is everyone doing today? Oh, I'm doing well myself. Sorry about the last couple days. I was busy doing stuff and tired on Tuesday. And Monday I had a dentist appointment. So, didn't really feel like doing anything. So that's why. Um, oh man, still kind of tired. I don't know why. Anyways, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about Hunter Biden and his trial. We're going to look at the takeaways and catch up and whatnot uh, to go through it. And then, you don't know, he was found guilty on all three charges. Um, and of course, now Democrats are using his conviction to try and compare him to Trump. Um, so, which is hilarious. Um, Showing that they don't really truly understand why our issue with Trump being convicted is, um, which isn't really surprising. It is what it is, though. So we'll go through that. Um, and then Biden, the father, decided he needed to talk about guns. And he said a bunch of crap, which is kind of funny. So we'll look at that. And then last but simply not least, we will check out some showcase stuff. We'll look at the gameplay for Assassin's Creed Shadow. And then we'll look at a couple trailers. And then we'll call it a day. So that is the plan for the day. Just gonna double check, make sure the audio is good. The audio is good. So that is the plan. Uh so let's see. Sorry, my neck is driving me insane. I have a sunburn. And it's just healing. It's just annoying as hell. So, oh, fucking hell. All right. So, first things first, a little housekeeping. Follow me on X at official WGhost. That's the best way to find out when I go live and what I am up to. Um, and then follow me. Follow me on X at official WGhost. Did I say X or I said Rumble? I feel like I said Rumble. Follow me on X. All right, we'll just redo this. Follow me on X at official WGhost. It's the best way to find out when I go live, what I am up to, and also you could watch me live. Rumble is rumble.com/withghost. YouTube is youtube.com/@withghost. And twitch.tv/official with ghost. Those are my various channels. And of course, my gaming channels on Rumble is Gaming with Ghost, and YouTube is @official Gaming with Ghost. So those are the various channels that you can check me out on. Oh man, I'm fucking tired. Tired. All right. So without further ado, let's get into this. God, why am I so fucking tired? All right, so we're gonna start with day 2 because day 1 was really just um, jury selection, very uninteresting. So we'll deal with day 2, which actually dealt with um, the actual meat of the issue. The second day of Hunter Biden's trial laid the groundwork for both sides as prosecutors and defense attorneys battled over the fundamental issue at play, whether Biden purchased a gun while addicted to drugs. In opening statements to Tuesday, prosecutor Derek Hines made clear, this is last week, by the way, I think. Yeah, last week it started. I should have covered it, but I don't even remember what I did last week. Um, Yeah. Prosecutor Derek Hines made it clear that President Joe Biden's son isn't charged with possessing drugs, but rather because he allegedly lied on a federal background check form. Addiction may not be a choice, Hines said, but it is a choice to illegally buy a gun. Uh, Hines continued, "We're here because of defendants' lies and choices. No one is above law. It doesn't matter who you are or what your name is." Melissa Cohen Biden, Hunter Biden's wife, vigorously shook her head in disapproval when Hines argued that Biden knew he was an addict when he bought the gun. Defense attorney Albert Lowe repeatedly highlighted during his opening statement that prosecutors need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Hunter knowingly violated the law. Well, here's the problem here. When you purchase a gun, now look, this is just ignoring the fact, like, there's people who saying, "Oh, it's not in keeping with Second Amendment tradition. No, we never had, just because you use drugs doesn't mean that you should be prevented from buying guns or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." Well, that might be true and everything. The fact of the matter is, at the moment, buying a gun while using illegal drugs is illegal. Actually, drugs in general. Like, even if you use marijuana, which is legal in some states, that's federally, it's still illegal for you to purchase fire. So it's kind of dumb to do said drugs, buy a gun, and then get mad when you get charged with one of these crimes. All right, Lowell emphasized that Biden's state of mind when he purchased the gun was instrumental in the case. He's also tried to humanize his client, saying that he abused alcohol and drugs like literally millions of people in this country, and was plagued by various traumas, including the 1972 car crash in Wilmington that killed his mother and gave him a brain injury when he was a child. At one point, while Lowe was speaking, one juror appeared to become emotional, reaching for tissues in her bag and dabbing her eyes and nose several times. Lowe, well into his statement, had explained how, despite claims from prosecutors, the evidence doesn't show Biden was using drugs the day he bought the gun. That's actually doesn't really fucking matter. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. Jesus fucking Christ. Let's see. Yeah, so if you look at if you ever bought a gun, okay, look here on question E. Are you an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulants, narcotic drugs, or other controlled substance? Um, so that doesn't really matter whether you're using drugs at the time of the purchase or if it just are you an unlawful user of drugs. So if you're using, even if you're not on it that day, you're otherwise currently using, it doesn't really fucking matter whether you're using it that day when you bought it. Lowell was also discussing the tumultuous days when Haley Biden found the gun and threw it in a trash can outside a supermarket. Here's what to know from Tuesday in court. Biden speaks through his audiobook. The first hour of witnesses was consumed by prosecutors playing long passages of the audiobook Biden narrated in his 2021 memoir, Beautiful Things. It drones on at times, but also filled with gripping first person storytelling about his depth addiction, spurring some jurors to listen closely and take notes. Many of those jurors said during the selection process that they lost loved ones to drug overdose and alcoholism, so Biden's personal struggles could strike a chord. In excerpts played aloud in court Tuesday, chosen by the special counsel office, Biden described intense feeling of shame and guilt while crack plunged him into the deepest recesses of your soul. He said he had a limitless appetite for debasement, and that led to near-death experiences when he drove high in Arizona and brought drugs from homeless people in Los Angeles. Prosecutors highlighted part of the book where Biden said he had 4 years of active addiction from 2015 to 2019, which importantly would cover the time period when he bought the gun in October of 2018. So, as we saw in that form, you're not allowed to purchase a firearm if you're an unlawful user or addicted to etc. drugs. It's kind of the proof there, right there, because that's Biden talking about it at the moment. Like this isn't someone else who just saying some stuff and all that. Like this is completely different from the Trump case because in the Trump case, it's not Trump himself saying, "Yeah, I paid off Stormy Daniels, and then when we went in, I said, hey, we're gonna treat this as a reimbursement to Conan for paying her off, but we're gonna say it's for legal services." So it's completely different because again on the form it says, "Are you a unlawful user or addicted to?" That's what the form says. So right here, I think the prosecution could have just like done that, and been boom, and been like, "All right, we're done." Like, what are we talking about here? So, First Lady Jill Biden sat stoically while she listened to the recording of her son airing out the worst moment of his life. I don't care shit. So, I guess they used so Erica Jensen was a special agent used to introduce the evidence from the memoir. Under cross examination by Biden's lawyer, Erica Jensen conceded that Biden might not have been abusing drugs during the entire 5-year period. Yeah, but unfortunately, like he said here, he had 4 years of active addiction. Like going off of his words alone, he 4 years of active addiction from 2015 to 2019. October 2018 is when he bought the gun. So, I mean, this is his own words. Let's see. Lowell laid out his version of the case and strategy moving forward in the morning opening statements and during the cross examination of the FBI agent. Oh, sorry. Not only did Lowell say the prosecutors must prove Biden knowingly violated the law when he bought the gun, but the attorney also argued that many of the text messages prosecutors had cited about the attempts to get drugs were months apart from when he purchased the firearms. Okay. I guess what I think the prosecution or the defense strategy is saying, like he was so out of his mind he didn't even realize when he bought the gun he was violating the law. I guess that's what he's trying to do. And then I mean, so and then I guess he's saying like, well, look, he was trying to get drugs. They were months apart when he was trying to get drugs from when he purchased the firearm, but it sorry. So if there's a period between when he stopped using drugs, then technically he wasn't an active user or addicted to the drugs. But it doesn't really say like it maybe attempting to get drugs, but he might have bought a big supply and then ended up having and was currently using the drugs, and then afterwards he had to go and buy some more. That could be it. I don't know. Okay. During the cross-examination, Lowe noted that the scores of the messages and pictures introduced to the jury through the FBI agent were in early 2019, months after Biden purchased the gun in October 2018. He pointed out several discrepancies between Biden's memoir and text messages and travel logs presented by the FBI agent, including that not everything in the book, which is heavily cited by the government in this case, was completely factually accurate. Lowell said during his opening, the text messages sent around the time Biden bought the gun, including one where Biden said he was smoking crack, was actually about him trying to avoid Haley Biden, who was with him at the time and not doing drugs. And in the courtroom, whatever. I'm trying to avoid like listening to the or reading out the what they saw people do and shit because I don't care. Prosecutors also introduced a tranche of evidence that investigators obtained from Biden's electronics, including his infamous laptop. Their goal is to illustrate Biden abusing drugs in 2018. They tried to accomplish this by playing a shirtless video of him holding what looked like to be a crack fight, reading text messages where he haphazardly tried to meet drug dealers in California and Massachusetts, and showing his angry exchange with loved ones about his many personal failures. One exchange showed a drug dealer in Los Angeles trying to cut ties with Biden, complaining he was going out of my way to get him drugs at the cost of spending time with his own family. The dealer ended the text with, "We'll always be friends, bro." So evidence from the laptop is apparently showing that Biden was indeed abusing drugs in 2018. Other messages, Biden said he was sleeping on a car smoking crack at the street corner in downtown Wilmington. That was a few blocks away from the federal courthouse where the trial is underway. His defense attorneys claimed that he might not really have been doing drugs, but rather trying to avoid his ex-partner, Haley Biden. Is there any proof of that? Like, is there any proof that he was just simply trying to avoid his ex-partner, Haley Biden? I don't know. Biden's laptop has been center of. Oh wait, well that's more background crap. I don't care. The prosecutors used the laptop much more narrowly, trying to prove that Biden used drugs in 2018. All right, we're gonna do this because I keep looking that way because it's easier to read. There we go. It was still a major moment when prosecutors unveiled the physical laptop for all the courtroom to see. Silver map book that has been bandied about in right-wing media for years, and public saw it for the first time on Tuesday. All right, and then Lowell will continue to cross-examine Jansen, who will then go on through a last round of questions from prosecutors. So they would call Kathleen Buell, Hunter's Biden's ex-wife, to the stand second. Okay, so there we go. That's day 3. So now we'll go on to day 2. Or sorry, that was day 2. We're now going to do day 3. All right. So we'll try. Let's see. Let me try to go. Okay. So this was back in session Wednesday for day 3 with some notable guest scores. All right, memoir evidence. The day began with a defense attorney arguing that Hunter Biden's memoir had no evidence of drug use when he bought the gun. Let's see. We used the items that were evidence of addiction. Eric, this is Special Agent Jensen said on the witness stand in response to defense attorney Abel Lowell's questions over the book. Under cross-examinations, Jensen said investigators couldn't verify that Hunter Biden actually did what he claimed he was doing in text being used as evidence against him. Defense tries to undermine cash withdrawal allegations. Oh, excuse me. Lowell, while questioning Jensen, suggested that some of the cash they tried to link to the October 2018 gun purchase may actually have been for rehab and addiction treatment. And then Hunter's ex-wife took the stand. Kathleen Buell took the stand where she testified that she first learned of his drug use in July of 2015. She previously was worried and was scared about possible drug use due to Hunter Biden's 2014 exit from the Navy. She also said she found drugs in Biden's car on multiple occasions. Under cross-examination, Buell said she didn't know exactly when she checked Biden's car and found drug paraphernalia. Prosecutors contend that this occurred in 2018, the same year Hunter Biden bought the gun. She said she said no when asked if she ever seen Biden use drugs. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, all right. And then Zoe Keston told jurors she met Biden. This is apparently his ex-girlfriend. She met Biden at a gentleman's club in 2017. She described it as incredibly friendly and charming and said Biden smoked crack almost constantly in private, but not while in public, where he was affable. Keston testified she sometimes helped him buy drugs and withdraw cash, trying to make a connection to the timeline of the gun purchases. Keston testified that she saw Biden doing drugs as late as September 2018. Okay. The man who sold Biden the gun. I mean, so that's fairly close. 2018. He was, I guess it depends on the day. October. Was it the end of October? Gordon Cleveland testified that the Biden came into the gun store looking for a firearm. He said he watched Biden fill out a federal form before he purchased the gun in 2018. Cleveland told Biden to take his time to avoid making mistakes. He said that and watched Biden check no on the question of whether he used illegal drugs. He testified that Biden paid in cash and also bought ammunition. Remember, the indictment stems from a 2018 purchase. While buying the revolver in Delaware, Biden is accused of lying on the federal form, swearing he was not using, was not addicted to any illegal drugs, even though he was struggling with crack cocaine addiction at the time of purchase. If convicted on all counts, Biden could theoretically face as much as 25 years in prison, fines of up to 750K, according to court filings. Yeah, he's not going to prison. I'm willing to bet it. Willing to bet my allowance. Let's see. Okay. So that was day 3. Moving on. Let's go to day 4. Remember, this was only a 6-day trial. So okay, so all right, so there's more Barrett. So this is just more of what happened yesterday on Wednesday, day 3. Pictures of hotel rooms Biden shared with Keston in 2018 were shown To the jury, Keston pointed out several crack pipes, one of which was broken, as well as baking soda, spoons, bowls, and chopsticks, all used for the drugs he was taking and the cocaine he was cooking into crack. She testified another image was of Hunter Biden in a bathtub holding what Keston said was a crack pipe. Gordon Cleveland, a salesman who sold Hunter the gun. See, I read that later when he was examined by Biden's attorney, Lowell. Cleveland embraced his reputation as a whale hunter and bragged about his ability to close deals for pricey guns. The defense is trying to argue Cleveland essentially peddled the gun to Biden. Yeah, maybe, but Biden's the one who said yes or no to not being addicted to drugs. All right. Caitlin Buell told the juries and let's see about where my daughters would use his car. Doing the exactly when in 2018. Okay, and then all right, so that's not really that. All right. So this is the start of day 4. Okay, so Haley Biden, who testified that she used crack in 2018 after Hunter introduced her to it, says she used to tell him that this can't go on. We can't do this. Hunter would say he was fine and needed to figure things out his own way. Haley testified in a text exchange from the time period that prosecutors showed his in court. Haley told Hunter she was afraid he was going to die. Haley Biden testified that Hunter Biden was angry with her for throwing away the gun. Text messages that investigators say they found on Hunter's laptop shows the pair scrambling to deal with the matter, and Haley saying she acted because she was afraid for Hunter's safety. Haley Biden described finding the gun and drugs while cleaning out Hunter Biden's truck in 2018. She says she panicked and wanted to get rid of the firearm bullets so Hunter didn't hurt himself. Haley says she put the gun in a pouch and threw it away in a nearby grocery store can. I was so flustered, she said, I realized it was a stupid idea now. During cross-examination, Haley testified that she did not witness Hunter Biden doing drugs between October 6th and October 22nd, 2018. This could be helpful to defense as it covers the window where he bought and possessed the gun. But she also testified that he lied and kept things from her during that time. All right. So then this was all the 3 witnesses. Joshua Marlin was a Delaware police officer who responded to Haley Biden's call notifying police she had thrown away a gun in a nearby grocery store. Marlin testified that he reviewed security cam video and searched trash cans at the store but didn't find the weapon. He also interviewed Hunter Biden as part of the case. Millard Greener, who was a former state trooper, described tracking down a man who collected recyclables from the store and found the gun. When Greer approached the man, he handed over the weapon, ammunition, and speed loader. And then the 80-year-old who found the gun, Edward Banner, is he Bruce Banner? Who said he'd been collecting recyclables to turn into cash for years since he retired. That's how he recovered the weapon. Banner said he also testified that no one in his home uses cocaine. This was relevant because prosecutors say FBI investigators found cocaine residue on the pouch that contained Hunter Biden's gun. Cocaine. All right. That was day 4. So, day 5, prosecution is going to rest. Let's see. So Haley Biden, who's the widow of Beau Biden, who then dated his brother Hunter. What kind of asshole dates his dead brother's wife? I think she's a star witness. She was the only one who saw Biden in October 2018. She tested that she believed, based on her observation and his behavior, that Biden was using crack cocaine around October 22nd and 23rd, days after he purchased the pistol. However, under cross examination, she acknowledged she didn't personally see Biden using drugs in October, a point the defense has zeroed in on, trying to carve out October and create reasonable doubt. Well, here's the thing. Unlike the Trump trial, you have two things. Not only do you have Haley Biden, who was there seeing him, saying these things like, "Hey, based on his behavior, it looked like he was, using crack cocaine. I observed his behavior. I was doing this stuff, blah blah blah." Now, if it was just her word, that may not be. That probably won't be enough. But we also have Biden's memoir saying that during this period of time, from was it 2015 to 2019, he was having addiction problems. So, yes, it doesn't zero, like those memoirs didn't zero down on the exact dates. That is true. It lends credibility to Haley Biden saying that, based on my observations, having done crack cocaine with him and seeing him on it, this is what it looks like he was on. It just lends more credibility to her statements, which is a problem with Conan, who didn't really have any credibility to his statements. He didn't have anything backing up his statements, just him saying, trust me, bro, this happened. So that's a big difference between this trial and the Trump trial. And again, let's see. Haley Biden panicked and threw out the gun. She describes how events spiraled out of control after she found Biden's gun on October 23rd, panicked and drove to a grocery store to throw the pistol in the trash can. Hunter Biden quickly discovered that his gun was missing. Things went south, according to text messages shown to the jury. He was very angry, she testified. Earlier in testimony, Haley Biden testified to using drugs, saying that Hunter Biden introduced her to crack cocaine in 2018. She said she quit in August 2018. She later on said she went into rehab in Pennsylvania in early October 2018. And then this is more about the gun finding. So again, the reason Haley Biden has a little more credibility than Michael Cohen is the fact that the memoirs laid out between 2015 and 2019, in Hunter Biden's own words, he was battling addiction issues. So that lends credibility to Haley Biden when she says, well, Hunter Biden introduced me to crack cocaine. And based on my observations on his behavior on days later, he was definitely on crack cocaine, even if she didn't actually see it. So that lends, again, that's just, it's the evidence as lining up with what she's saying. We didn't have that with Conan. All we had with Conan was him saying the words and the checks. That's all we really had. And the thing is the problem with that is Trump, never denied paying Conan. He just never said he specifically was part of the group that said that this was specifically for reimbursement. That's all that was. And that's the problem, because all we got for saying that this was definitely reimbursement is Conan saying yes, it was for reimbursement. Well, not only, sorry. What we have from that is Conan saying this was a reimbursement and Trump knew about it. All we have for sure that we know that it was, a reimbursement is Weiselberg, who did his little handwriting thing analysis and all that stuff. That had the same amount that he paid Stormy Daniels. But again, All we have is Conan's words saying that Trump knew this was reimbursement. We don't have proof of that. There's nothing that's added that it lends to Conan's credibility, saying that Trump knew this was a reimbursement. All right, so let's see. All right, so now this is Biden's daughter. Naomi Biden testified about her pride in seeing her father in rehab in 2018 and that he did not do drugs in front of her. She also testified that he seemed good around the time he purchased the gun in October 2018. Defense is expected to use her testimony to help blunt the impact of earlier testimony from Haley Biden, prosecuting star witness and Hunter's former girlfriend, who discussed some of the couple's darkest moments on the stand. Okay, so this was. Oh, sorry. All right. FBI chemist takes a stand. Prosecutors called forensic chemist Jason Brewer to test the powder found on the pouch that held Biden's gun. Tested positive for cocaine, which, while the case was recovered in 2018, the defense noted it wasn't tested until 2023 and suggested the pouch may have belonged to Haley Biden, who testified about her own drug use Thursday. DA testified. DA Special Agent Joshua Rominge also took the stand. The prosecutors called him to help define various drug terms related to cocaine in text messages from Biden that were shown to the jury. All right, so they rested then, and then here is the defense. Grill gun store employees. The defense team first witness were Jason Turner, an employee at the store where Biden bought the gun, and the gun store owner, Ronald Palmer, who attempted to undermine the credibility of store employees, had at the time testing exchanges with the men, scrutinized the form that Biden filled out to purchase the gun, on which he's accused of lying about his drugs. So they moved acquittal after the prosecutor rested. Okay. So now let's check out. This is Hunter Biden's daughter's testimony. It was clear, speaking about her father, was a very painful subject for Naomi Biden. Even though she's a graduate of Columbia Law School, she appeared very uncomfortable on the stand after the defense called her to testify in the trial against Hunter Biden. Naomi Biden entered the court with her husband, First Lady Joe Biden, immediately motioned for him to sit next to her. Whatever. Naomi Biden focused on two instances 2018 when she saw her father. First was in August or September when she went to visit her dad in Los Angeles. Hunter had reached out to her to come visit him amid his stint in rehab. Hunter Biden offered to arrange a trip, and Naomi said she agreed to go, even though she had not seen him in quite some time. Naomi Biden said she met with him and his sober coach and brought her new boyfriend, now husband. It was the cleanest she had seen him since my uncle died. Naomi Biden said, I was proud of him. I was proud to introduce Peter to him. On stand, she then testified about a trip to New York City where he came to pick up a car. She described seeing him at the end of October, saying she seemed hopeful. Naomi Biden said her father seemed the same as when she had seen him in Los Angeles. On cross-examination by prosecutor Leon Weiss, she again testified about how she had not seen her father recently because after my uncle died, things got bad around 2015. Prosecutors got her to concede that she really did not know what he was like when he was using drugs because she had not seen him for quite some time. Prosecutors seemed to catch Naomi and Lowell off guard when they introduced her to a series of texts she exchanged with her father during the trip to New York. Naomi seemed a little confused and resented when confronted with texts appearing to show her father to be somewhat erratic and non-communicative when trying to arrange the handoff of his car. She did not remember the exchange and started to appear increasingly uncomfortable when talking about texts her father sent her in the wee hours of the morning about exchanging his car. After she left the stand, Biden gave her dad a cool embrace and a kiss on the cheek and was seen trembling, wiping away tears as she exited the courtroom. All right. So here's a key fact. So let's see. Okay, so during cross examination by prosecutors, Naomi Biden testified she never used drugs and did not bring any drugs or paraphernalia into the truck before returning the vehicles to her father on October 19th earlier this week. So this is showing that can't make the argument, oh, the drugs were hers, they weren't Biden's. Because Haley Biden testified that she found remnants of crack cocaine in the car when she searched it on October 23rd, and the same day she discovered the gun. So it's showing that between October 19th and October 23rd, Biden at one point had used cocaine. And does it say when he actually used the gun or bought the gun? Okay, so it was 11 days. So that's the 12th. Okay. Again, they don't really have their issue was they didn't really have him actually using any sign of him actually using drugs at the time. But also another charge was that he can't possess a firearm as a drug user is another charge. Whether you agree with that or not, that's what it is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this here was the last day. So let's actually, what we'll do is we will go down and we'll look at all his. So they argued about jury instructions here. He's not going to testify. Okay, so now the defense rests after calling 3 witnesses. I guess there was a rebuttal. So I guess the prosecution also had a rebuttal. So Erica Jensen, who testified at the beginning of the trial, is back on the stand, and prosecutors are questioning her. Prosecutors asked Jensen about a text Biden sent while he was in Wilmington, saying he was at a 7-Eleven in the town. This is an important topic because there are only 2 texts of Hunter Biden, referring to using or buying drugs in October 2018 when he bought the gun. One of them said he was meeting a dealer named Mookie. Defense said that while the text may exist, does not prove that Biden went where he claimed to gone in text, like the 7-Eleven. They also told the jury that Mookie, the alleged dealer, might not exist. Jensen is now telling juror about other times Biden said he went to 7-Eleven according to his text. Let's see. During cross-examination, Jensen said she did not have location data of where Hunter Biden was when he messaged an individual about meeting at 7-Eleven. It's Q, one text on October 11th, said one day before Biden gun purchase. I'm at 7-Eleven now. Meet me at 7-Eleven at 3. Hunter Biden wrote back. So, I mean, it's kind of more, again, it's not, there's no definitive absolute thing, but there's enough here. Like, you have Hunter Biden's memoir, you have Haley Biden's testimony, and now you have these text messages where, the logical conclusion would be it's Q. I'm at 7-Eleven now. Meet me at 7-Eleven at 3 the day before. So, I mean, it's unless Hunter Biden had gone on and said, hey, this is what was going on, then the logical conclusion is that he was going there to meet drugs. Apparently, there was other messages of him buying drugs at 7-Eleven. Again, this differs from the Trump thing because all we got is a phone call record. We don't actually have what was said on the phone call, so we don't know for sure what was said on those phone calls. But here we have a text messages telling us exactly what was said during the texts, and that was all their rebuttal was. All right. All right, so these are closing arguments. We'll read closing arguments. Prosecutor Leo Wise tells the jury, people sitting in the gallery are not evidence. You may recognize them from the news, but respectfully, none of that matters. First Lady Jill and other family members have been sitting in the gallery for much of the trial. Your decision can only be made on evidence, Wise told the jury. No one is above the law. In this case, it stands for that simple proposition. Prosecutors need to prove Hunter Biden's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That is a burden we embrace, Wise said. Hunter Biden knew he used crack around the time he bought the gun in question. In his criminal trial, Wise told jurors the defendant knew he used crack and was addicted to crack at the relevant time period. Wise said, homing in on one of the most difficult elements of the alleged crime that the prosecutors need to prove to win a conviction. Wise added, the evidence was personal, it was ugly and overwhelming. But, he said, such evidence of drug use and beyond was necessary, explaining why prosecutors spent so much time highlighting Hunter Biden's well-documented struggles with addiction. There's no evidence that anyone else possessed the gun from October 12th to October 23rd, other than the defendant. Prosecutor Wise said of the gun Hunter Biden owned. This was in reference to count 3, unlawful possession of firearm by the user of a controlled substance. Maybe he never gone to rehab. You could argue he didn't know he was an addict. Wise of Hunter Biden. Prosecutors said the state does not have to prove Hunter Biden used drugs on a specific day to prove their case. The United States is not required to prove drugs used on a specific day, Wise told the jury. There's no requirements for the United States to prove drug use in the month of October. Instead, the standard is that Hunter Biden was actively engaged in drugs around the time of the gun purchases. Wise said, you can convict on those facts alone. Wise invoked the testimony of Hunter Biden's ex-girlfriend, Zoe Keston, who said she witnessed Biden smoking crack in 2018, a few weeks before buying the gun. Okay, apparently there's a sidebar. Wise told jurors that evidence showed Biden habitually used illegal drugs around the time of the gun purchase. Started years before the gun purchase and continued for months after. Wise said of Hunter Biden's drug use. He had lost control. Wise said calling Hunter an addict. A main tenet of Hunter's defense is that the government had not adequately proved he was actively using at the time of the 2018 gun purchase. Wise showed jurors the score of text messages and images detailing how, according to prosecutors, Hunter coordinated with drug dealers to buy crack and use the drug. The message, Wise said, showed Hunter meeting up with drug dealers in days around his gun purchase. Wise also said Hunter's memoir was searingly painful but contained personal and honest information that, in his view, helps prove Hunter's guilt. Wise also summarized the testimony of 3 former partners of Biden's who testified to his rampant drug use across several years. Wise highlighted Haley saw drug residue in Hunter Biden's car the same day she found the gun. Prosecutors also noted Zoe Keston said she saw Hunter use drugs in late September 2018. He purchased a gun in October 12th. There's overwhelming evidence he used drugs after the rehab at The View in Los Angeles in August 2018, Wise said. He also noted that from Keston that Hunter smoked in Malibu weeks after the rehab experience. We're really only talking about a period of 13 days, Wise said, arguing that Hunter did not get clean after the supposedly life-changing rehab stint at The View. And again, this differs from the Trump trial because you've got several witnesses testifying that close to the time period and he purchased the gun, he was seen doing the drugs. So that's, you got, 3 different witnesses? Yeah, 3 former partners of Hunter's who claimed they saw the X thing happen. So again, that differs from the Trump case where all we got is Conan saying, "Trust me, brah." Wise said that Hunter messaged the drug dealers in days around when he bought the gun at the center of the case. You see him setting up a meeting with the dealer right before he bought the gun. The messages show Hunter purchasing drugs almost in real time, Wise said. Wise also attacked Hunter's defense of text messages sent in days after he bought the gun about buying and using drugs. Lowell, Hunter's attorney, has argued Hunter made up a drug deal story to avoid seeing Haley at the time. Haley, the widow of Biden's late brother Beau, was Hunter's former girlfriend. You use your common sense, Wise said of this theory from the defense, noting if Hunter didn't want to see Haley, he could have lied earlier about where he was. He didn't need to make up this elaborate story about 2 drug deals, Wise said. That is kind of funny. In closing arguments, Wise zeroed in on a testimony about Hunter's truck. His daughter Naomi said there weren't any drugs or drug remnants when she gave him the truck back to her dad on October 19th. Haley testified she found crack remnants when she searched his car. I guess that means car. October 23rd. Wise read messages between Hunter and his daughter Naomi, telling the jury they were evidence by Hunter acting erratic. Pointing to Naomi's searing testimony about her father's addiction, Wise said that the reason Naomi was called to the stand was to suggest he was somewhat okay in October 2018. But Hunter repeatedly texted his daughter on the early hours of the morning. Wise said, trying to get his touch from her. What? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. This isn't okay, Wise said. All right, so the prosecutors finished their closing. Defense begins theirs. Lowell said the jury should make sure Hunter is not convicted improperly. Reasonable doubt is not suspicious conjecture. With this very high burden, it's time to end this case, he said. Let's see. Lowell compared the prosecution's case to a magic trick, a sleight of hand where they tried to get a conviction through the evidence, even though evidence isn't there. He said this while She said this while widely criticizing Wise's team from Weiss's or Weiss, I want Deborah Weiss, I don't care. The team for, in his view, cherry picking evidence to present a more favorable timeline at Hunter Biden's drug use that supports their claim that he was actively on drugs in October 2018. Again, Lowell argued that the bar for prosecutors proved by Hunter was knowingly violating the law was extremely high. Knowingly, Lowell said, mean that Hunter would have had to have been conscious and aware of the law and how he was violating it. With this burden, it's time for this case in. What are you talking about? When he marked on the federal form that he was an addict, Hunter was not saying what he believed to be false. What? There's a very clear, like, are you an addict of drugs? If you went to rehab, you admit that, yeah, you have an addiction. You have a problem with drugs. And that doesn't go away after a week or two in rehab, and then you go back going back to your old ways. It's not how that works. Come on, eh? Like this is dumb. This is a very dumb argument. I mean, he's got a dumb client and dumb facts against him, but this is a dumb argument. Lowell told the jurors that prosecution hasn't proved beyond reasonable doubt that Hunter knew at the time he bought the gun that it was illegal. I mean, there's a freaking form that says, "Are you a user or addicted to these drugs?" And he marked no. That kind of clearly demonstrates that. I would think. Let's see. Hunter knowledge of his addiction and of breaking law is key legal threshold required for conviction. They spent hours, literally hours, recounting Hunter's terrible journey with alcohol and drug use, trying prosecutors reading excerpts from Hunter's memoir. I mean, he wrote it. But Lowell said prosecutors are blurring Hunter's attention at the time of the purchase with what he was admitting after the fact in the book. Pay attention to the real timeline, Lowell told the jury. During the trial, prosecution honed in on a series of text messages that Hunter sent in October 2018. All right. Oh, that's all right. The defense slammed Hunter's ex-girlfriend Zoe Keston, a critical prosecution witness, who implicated him in a drug use a few weeks before he bought the gun at the center of the case. Lowell said Keston met with prosecutors many times before the trial to rehearse testimony, instantly drawing an objection from the special counsel team. It's not uncommon for prosecution witness in a trial to meet with those attorneys before getting on the stand. Yeah, that's not very uncommon. Lowell noted that Keston helped connect Hunter with drug dealers, enabling him. He also pointed out that Keston took a lot of pictures of Hunter with drugs, but none from the key month of October when he bought the gun. Oh, so it's Keston's fault that Hunter is a fucking druggie. It's Keston's fault. It's a dumb argument. Let's see. Lilo also noted that Haley couldn't recall details around the time she found the gun in Hunter's car. Poor Haley, Lowell said, adding that through her testimony, she's been dragged through a tragic time in her life. Haley testified that she guessed the residue she saw in the car was from drugs and couldn't recall what paraphernalia she said she saw. Powell also said the prosecutors were trying to weave suspicion and conjecture around the pouch found with Hunter Biden's gun in the car. And FBI chemist testified that is tested positive for small amounts of cocaine. You don't know who put that residue there, Lowell said, suggesting implicitly it may have originated from Haley. Further, Lowell noted that the special counsel only tested the pouch for drugs in 2023, 5 years after it was seized. So, first off, did the defense ask, was it your drugs that was on the pouch? Okay, but did you ask this question? Like, when you cross-examine Haley Biden, did you say, "Hey, was it your drugs that was on the pouch, not Hunter's?" And did she say, "No, it's not my drugs," or "I don't know if those were my drugs on the pouch"? Okay, And okay, so they only tested the pouch for drugs in 2023, 5 years after it was seized. Are you trying to implicate that they were planting the drugs? Like what was okay? So they only tested in 2023. So Lowell also leaned on the magic trick Monteith to accuse prosecutors trying to dupe the jury. Watch his hand, pay no attention to the other, Lowell said. He raised this regarding the testimony of DEA drug expert. The expert told the jury all about the drug lingo that Hunter used. Lowell said, but those examples weren't from the time that Hunter purchased or possessed a firearm. Much of the case, Lowell said, including testimonies to the fact that facts Hunter has already admitted his long use of crack cocaine. Lowell ridiculed prosecutors for calling Hunter's ex-wife to testify, knowing she didn't have knowledge of the years of the allegations. No one, Lowell said, had witnessed actual drug use in the month Hunter bought the gun. Lowell was also hammering into the jury. The prosecutor's case is based on suspicion and conjecture. There was no actual witness to Hunter drug use during the operative time in 2018. Hunter repeatedly withdrawals of cash could have been for operative purposes. Besides drug purchases, he said the prosecution didn't prove when remnants of crack were left on the leather pouch Hunter owned. Proof beyond reasonable doubt is not suspicion or conjecture, and hope you won't realize the difference, Lowell said. This isn't really a good closing argument, because all this could have been explained away if they had put Hunter on the stand. And, yeah, it's right not to be on the stand. But if you're going to say, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do this, well, the question becomes, well, why did your client get on the stand and explain this to us so we can understand what actually happened? That's going to go through the jury's mind, whether even if his arguments of, well, they can't use him not going on the stand as his admission to guilt. And I don't think that's admission to guilt, but it's like, well, I mean, like, it's weird. And I think they called Hunter's ex-wife because it's just showing more of a pattern of his drug use. They're just setting up that, like, hey, he's been a drug user for a while. He was using drugs all the way up to September of 2018. And I think maybe someone, they showed some, and there was evidence of drug use after that time, on the 23rd of October, where, apparently there was cocaine residue, even though they didn't test till 2023. I guess he's trying to suggest that the government planted it. And then you also have Zoe, I think it was, who said, no, it wasn't Zoe. You also have the text messages that appears to be a drug buy. I mean, there's a lot of cumulative evidence that kind of come up with, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Because, what Lowell is asking is to, like, suspend your belief and go, try and, twist and turn saying, this could be something completely innocent. I mean, it could be, but if you're going off someone who's, has a history of drug use, we've seen a bunch of, he was using drugs all the way up to September. Okay, he went to rehab, and then he was doing drugs shortly after that. Not long after his stint in rehab, he was doing drugs as early as or as late as September of 2018, a few weeks before the October. So we're supposed to believe that September, that was his last day of doing drugs, and then a few weeks later, when he went to purchase drugs, he was no longer doing drugs and was no longer addicted to doing drugs. And then the person that was with him the most said he, by her observations and knowing him personally, he looked like he was on something. So, like that, that's how much you got to stretch, twist, and turn to try and, like, believe the defense's argument. Poor guy's got bad facts. He's doing the best he can. All right. Biden Hunter defense attorney Lowell brought up the federal form Hunter signed to purchase the gun in 2018. He did check the boxes. He did sign a form, Lowell said, but said based on witness testimony, it was unclear when that occurred and how it was completed, how complete it was. What? Do they have the form? Was it signed? All right, all that happened same day. All right, I don't know any gun form when you do a background check. You can come back the next day to fill it out, and it doesn't make any sense. Did they say he brought the form with him? Normally, they just pop out the form and hand it to you, fill it in front of them. Actually, no, that's actually incorrect because was it Cleveland? He said he told he gave the form to Biden, the hunter, and said, "Fill it out. Don't make any mistakes." The question, not on the past tense, but a present R, Lowell said, added what he thought on those key days as crucial. Well, you can't really talk to his state of mind because, like, how do we know that's what he thought? You're gonna if you're gonna like try and like show his state of mind was one way, you're gonna have to have him on the stand. Lowell reminded that the gun seller Gordon didn't think Hunter was on drugs when he bought the gun. Cleveland spent lots of times with Hunter that day, maybe more than anyone else. Lowell said and testified that Hunter not at all exhibited any signs of being under the influence of alcohol or drugs. This is real evidence that Hunter is not guilty of lying on the ATF form, Lowell said. Okay, so he didn't use drugs that day, apparently, when he purchased guns, but all those other times he was definitely using drugs. So, like, because he wasn't using drugs on that day, he's not guilty. But again, that also says addicted. So for some reason, we got to believe that Hunter believed he on that particular day he was not addicted to drugs. Like, okay. Okay, Hunter. But Hunter's defense attorney, Lowell, said Haley did something incredibly stupid and may have done it for love when she threw out Hunter's gun. After Hunter learned that Haley tossed the gun in a trash can at a grocery store, he told her to call the police. Lowell noted, "A person who is using drugs can't operate is a danger to public safety." Lowell said, quoting prosecutors, "Is the very same person who told Haley to file a police report." Lowell said there is no evidence in the record, none, that the gun was ever even loaded during the 11 days when Hunter owned it in October 2018. There's no evidence the gun was anywhere except in that lockbox in his truck, Lowell said. Okay. Yeah, but so, he told her to file a police report. Yeah, probably because he knew it was going to get discovered. And he was like, shit, if this gets discovered and I don't report it, I'm going to get even more trouble. Like, it's okay. This isn't good defense. Sorry. Oh, he okay. Lewis said prosecutors saying the most unfair thing Wise team did was take Hunter's words about being an addict out of context they were using. Many people refer to themselves as an addict even in periods when they aren't using, Lowell said. But calling yourself an addict at an AA or NA meeting or in retrospect, it's not the same as legally acknowledging that you are currently a drug user. Lowell added that Hunter had not asked anyone to excuse the mistakes he has made using drugs and alcohol to dull the pain he felt. Okay. Let's see. So that's it. Oh, okay, and so Jesus Christ, that was a long fucking closing argument. 85 minutes for a closing argument, dude. Look, if you have to take 85 minutes to do a closing argument, it kind of like it's not like I think that's a problem. If you got to take 85 minutes for a closing argument, especially on a 6-day case, that's I in my opinion, if I sit an hour and 25 minutes for a closing argument, I'm thinking like, dude, you're trying to make up for some facts that aren't favorable for your client's case. Just me. And again, this here is how it's supposed to be. Again, if you look at the Trump trial, there was a deviation from the normal. The defense did their closing arguments first, and then it was the prosecution's. Normally, prosecution then defense. So I don't know why they changed it in New York, which gives more credibility to the whole rigging thing. One, it was extraordinarily cruel for prosecutors to ask Naomi if she used drugs to try to fill in gaps in their case. Hunter's defense attorney, Lowell, said during his closing. Lowell glared at the prosecutors as he spoke, raising his voice and banging his fist on the lectern. Yeah, but guess what? If they hadn't asked that question and confirmed with her about it, defense was saying, we don't know if this was actually Naomi's drugs on the that was found on this pouch that the gun was in. We don't know. So that's a dumb fucking try closing part. Well, let's see. So prosecutor Hines is so now the prosecution is doing a rebuttal of their closing arguments, I believe. Prosecutor Hines is pointing directly at Hunter Biden when referencing Hunter's decision to buy a gun and use drugs. Choices have consequences, and that's why we're here. He said, we wouldn't be here in this courtroom if Hunter only smoked crack, Hines said. Hines told the jury the defense witness, Naomi, actually heard her father's case because she was telling the truth. She was completely uncomfortable. In visible anguish on the stand, he said of Naomi. She couldn't vouch for the defendant's sobriety, Hines said, adding she couldn't do so because she swore to tell the truth. During his closing arguments, Hunter shouted that it was cruel when prosecutors asked if Naomi used drugs. There was no evidence she used drugs. She had not been accused of doing so or charged with any crime. Yes, but the question was they had to ask that question because for a fact the defense would have used the saying that the drugs that were found were actually Naomi's and not Hunter's. That was going to be used. So, I mean, that's the reason why it was used. Sorry. You found it cruel. Simply asking, hey, do you use drugs? It's dumb. It's dumb. It's an attempt to make an emotional argument saying that, hey, how dare you ask this poor, wonderful woman who's, a graduate of law school of if she did drugs. Yeah, but again, if they didn't ask, the prosecution would have been like, well, they never asked Naomi if she did drugs. So for all we know, the drugs that were found in the pouch or whatever in the truck was actually hers and not Hunter's. That was it. Okay. They didn't really have a big rebuttal. All right. So then there's deliberation. I think they took. See, even the legal expert here, it's like defense made a strong emotional appeal despite prosecution's evidence. That's the problem. Is the defense is using an emotional argument to try emotional appeal to try and dissuade the prosecution evidence. That's how you know that they know they're tater something. Now, if I remember correctly, it only took him 3 hours to convict him. Okay, so they're dismissed for the day here. So maybe it wasn't 3 days. Yeah, so they delivered an hour before court ended Monday. And I think they came back in 2 hours later. I don't know. Okay. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Jesus Christ. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, so it was just under 3 hours. So they came back Tuesday, deliberated for like, roughly 2 more hours and found him guilty. So that tells you like how bad the facts were against how bad the defense's arguments were and their facts against the overwhelming facts of the prosecution. If it takes them under 3 hours to do a conviction, kind of tells you like how strong the defense is, or not defense, the what's it called? Not the defense, but the prosecution case was. Because if they were struggling with it, they'd be like, "Oh man, I don't know what it was." They'd argue for a little hour. There'd be a lot of back and forth and all that. But that's not what we had here. What we had here was even the jury was like, "Yeah, no, it's obvious he was doing drugs and lied on the form." Let's see. Because let's see. Let's see. Let's see. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, it was 2 days roughly, 2 to 3 days roughly. That it took the jury in the Trump trial to reach a verdict. So it kind of tells you how strong the case was for the prosecution in the Hunter's case. So there we go. All right. Oh man. So since we're talking about Biden and guns, let's talk about the head Biden talking about guns. Let's see what
They're so damn important. We need you. We need you to overcome the unrelenting opposition of the gun lobby, gun manufacturers, so many politicians when they oppose common sense gun legislation. I used to be a law, when I was no longer the vice president, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Before that, I taught a constitutional law class, and so I taught the Second Amendment. There's never been a time that says you can own anything you want. Never. You couldn't own a cannon during.
That's incorrect. You could own a cannon. Okay. In a letter to from Madison, when asked by sailors, "Hey, they had like a merchant ship. We're worried about pirates. Can we own a cannon under the Second Amendment?" He said, "Of course you can own a cannon." So that's incorrect.
During the Civil War. Oh. No, I'm serious. Think about it. How many of you heard this phrase? The blood of liberty. Wash it, go. Give me a break.
Like, come on. Like, he's a blood of liberty. He's trying to quote, like, the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots, and you can't even get the fucking quote.
No, I mean it. Seriously.
The blood of liberty.
And by the way, if they want to think to take on government, if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, well, guess what? They need F-15s. They don't need. They're so.
Oh, you need F-15s? I mean, tell that to the Vietnamese, the Viet Cong. Tell that to, let's see. Tell it to Afghanistan. Tell it to Iraq. Like, there's many counts of a superior force. Tell that to the fucking British in 1776 against the Patriots. Like, there's there's multiple historical facts where people like a superior force loses to a smaller force, basically. Like, force, even with the advanced technology, they still lose. They can still lose to a force that isn't doesn't have said technology. I mean, it's happened multiple times in history. So it's a very bad. Oh, you need an F-15. All right. You also would need a pilot who was willing to bomb a state too. So you're gonna need to find the pilot who's willing to bomb a state in his own country, because it's one thing to bomb a place that's not not anyone you lived. No one really identify as a brother because you're in a foreign land and doing all that stuff. It's something completely different if you're a soldier or pilot bombing your own country, and people that you could potentially be friends with, could potentially be, because you're in the same country and all that. It's just a completely separate thing. And yeah, apparently he's not a UN professor, UPenn professor. I mean, just Google. Okay. So, according to PolitiFact, Biden served as Benjamin Franklin Presidential Professor of the Practice at University of Pennsylvania during his tenure as vice president, start of his presidential campaign. However, the duration of his position was closer to 2 years than it was to 4, since he was on unpaid leave while running for president. Biden's duties did not include the same degree of teaching, research, and administrative responsibility that some may associate with the term full professor. Okay. Let's see. And then, according to a tax form this is from Philadelphia Inquirer, Biden received more than $90K from the university for holding the position between 2017 2019. His post involved no regular classes and around a dozen public appearances on campus, mostly in big ticket events. So yeah, it doesn't look like he was really an actual professor. And if he actually taught constitutional law class on the Second Amendment, then he would know that, yes, you could own a cannon when the Second Amendment was implemented. But he doesn't know that because he never taught the damn class. All right. So, oh man. So we go from one Biden to another who they don't know what they're talking about. They should realize I didn't have my light on this entire time. Shame on me. All right. So we're going to move on. And let's check out Assassin's Creed Shadow. Ubisoft just had their forward. It shows their upcoming games and their some gameplays. They did the Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay. So let's check that out. Get away from the dumb Bidens for a bit, and let's just watch a good old show. Okay.
Peace and war, benevolence and cruelty. I tread my own path in this divided land.
Oh yeah.
Fukujiyama, at last.
I mean, obviously this is a work in progress, as it says in the top right. But the landscape looks quite beautiful. Graphics looks quite nice. So it looks like it's going to be a very visually pleasing type of game.
The fields are busy. A big harvest requires many hands.
I'm liking the music. It's very Japan-y esque. So it's very nice. It's very calming. Kind of what you expect from Japan. So, a story surrounding the Japan land. Yeah, apparently, Yasuke was 6 foot, so he's a giant for everyone compared to everyone. You can also see a lot of people stopping and bowing to him. So it looks like it's defeating my thought of he could be overlooked because he's although he even with the status of samurai, he was dismissed because he's foreigner, because Japanese can be very racist and stuff like that. And that's including like even other Asians, just not Japanese Asians. Although that could still be still true. It could be that we're going to bow to you and all that stuff and give you that respect, but we're still even though you give you that respect of your status and stuff, we really don't think much of you. We're just gonna bow and we're gonna give you the respect your title is, but you're not really someone we think highly of, and we're gonna any actions you do, we'll just we'll see it and not really. I don't know. That could be it. Could be not. For all I know, it just I was wrong in my thinking.
And merchant looks uneasy.
I will not tolerate this disrespect. No, please.
It's a doggy. The Shiba Inu, right? I think that's the Japanese dog.
Well, you are a friendly beast, are you not?
I saw on the internet people were like, "Oh, you can pet a dog in Assassin's Creed Shadow." Yeah, you've been able to pet animals for a while now. Like for a while now, you've been able to pet animals, so it's not that really amazing.
Samurai sir, this way. I beg you. Hurry, sir. Please.
Right behind you, little one.
Oh, Baba. I brought someone.
Ikemaru, I wonder where you went.
God damn, that's an old lady. I thought Asians was aged gracefully. What is this bullshit?
Ah, a samurai. One that does not hail from these lands.
I am a stranger, yes, but you have nothing to fear from me.
Ha! I have enough to fear from the men of Kochiyama. They abuse their power, taxing us again and again, leaving us only scraps. I bet they are in the market now, along the main road. A stranger might make good merit, ridding a village of a threat like these men.
Is that so? Then I shall see it done. For this life, if not the next.
You miserable wretch!
More division among the people here. More corruption.
So again, it looks like I was correct on one thing. It looks like Yasuke is gonna be more of a tank character. We'll see that here coming up pretty soon. This whole bowing stuff, it's kind of interesting. So it's kind of showing that yes, he does. I forgot what I was gonna fucking say. All right, continue playing. I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry.
Such beauty, shadowed by suffering.
Also, why does Yasuke have an Asian accent? Trying to figure that out. Oh, Soju. Like he was only in Japan for a little while, right? If I remember correctly. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just being critical here.
What is happening here?
This isn't your fight, samurai. I told you, keep walking.
So yeah, this again, he's clearly going to be a tank character. Someone just rushes in and bashes people in. I'm curious what this R2 stuff is. I guess they're kind of like the skill tree stuff. Like if you see an Odyssey, where you have unique powers and stuff. It looks like this one here is going to be like a big old jump and smash thing. It looks like he's got this giant hammer thing. He's got also can use his swords. It looks like he can use his swords as well. The up one is obviously the health bar, and I'm assuming this bottom one's the whistle. I'm curious what this mass thing. Maybe it's just like a power up to give his hits more damage. So we'll see. Can't really see what the bottom one is. Obviously, you'll pull the right trigger and you'll be able to use those type of attacks. Blocking. I'm guessing that little yellow. You saw that little yellow shimmer. That's so you can do like an instant kill attack. It looks like, and based on the fact that he just went in and just bashed the guy. He's bashing the guy to death. I'm probably correct. Basically, like went and exhausted his stamina so much that he's so tired now he's open to an attack type deal. Okay, so no, you should just attack. You just leave him open for an attack. Basically, what it is, it looks like. It's one of those blocking things where you block real well and they end up disoriented and then can hit him real hard. Hey, what's up? That's kind of cool. You see some armor flying off, so you're kind of showing some actual damage to everything. It's unfortunately, now we got some bullshit thing. He just stomped on his head, but his head's clearly intact. Look, hopefully this is fixed. Look, I understand they gotta try and make this stuff kid friendly now and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter is come on, if you're gonna do an attack like that, that guy's head needs to be caved in. It looks completely intact. All right, it's just fucking annoying. I was so excited when they did when Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out, and you can actually dismember the people. That was pretty cool. And there could be an easy switch, like you can like go into settings and turn off dismemberment and stuff like that. Cool, but or default is what I hope they do is default is dismemberment off, but you can go in and turn it on yourself because when I'm playing games, it's kind of fucking annoying when I'm using a weapon that should be dismembering these people, and it's like, oh, they just got sliced across, and it's not. That was my biggest gripe against Jedi Fallen Order.
Take your piece.
There you go. So we just saw one of his power things. He just leapt in the air real high and smashed. And apparently there was thunder. Swing, Baba!
They want me to kill me. Thank you.
There's another. Up the road with the castle. A corrupt samurai named Fujioka.
Fujioka!
Protector turned the persecutor. Greed cannot rule this village. Not while I have breath in my lungs and a blade in my hand.
Now, of course, because he's black, we gotta get some hip hop in here. I really don't care about this either way. Like, cool. The music's good. It's good. Now, he's black, so it's Japanese, and we gotta throw some hip hop and shit in there. But it's a good. Sounds good to me. Like the hip hop, Asian, old school Japanese vibe. Sounds good. Sounds cool.
I said kill him.
That was okay. So that was pretty cool. We got a classic, sword and sheath slice and shit. That was kind of cool. And now we got a sword ran through the guy's chest.
I'll wash away his failure with your blood. You will have to spill it first.
That's interesting, Clark.
Who do you think you are? For the people? I am justice.
It's Batman. Oh, sweet. We got a dismembered head. Kind of forgot about that. It's kind of funny and interesting that now the kill scenes are going to be, going black and white, be that old school Japanese style that you see in a lot of old school Japanese movies. It's kind of cool. Oh shit! The ninja came. Ninja.
I was going to handle this.
That's the samurai's blade. That's a katana. They should be. What does ninjas normally use? I don't agree with this one. Is that a ninjatsu? I don't think that looks more like a katana to me, but that might be a ninjatsu.
Too slow. What did you find?
Yeah, it looked
The
like more like a
samurai's been
samurai
stealing from the
blade than a
villagers.
ninjatsu, but
He has
maybe
been
it's-
starving the people here for some time.
So now we know who he worked for.
And Daimyo, in Fukuyama Castle.
We should go.
Not before we send our allies to look for him. He'll be difficult to find.
The daimyo. He's there.
Now that was kind of weird. Like, I can see, I sense it. That's what it looks like. So it's kind of weird.
Who will take the lead?
It's a weird again, this is all work in progress, so we'll see how it goes when the game actually comes out.
Eat.
We can sneak in.
Or charge through the front gate.
So there we go. That's how the system's gonna work. I'm sure in between everything, you could also switch between them too, as well. Like if you're just walking around and stuff. Honestly, I'll probably end up playing as Nayo the most. She's the ninja. She's more of the assassin. This guy's more of a tank. It is interesting. Look at the height difference. God damn. So yeah. So if you pick Yasuke, you're gonna end up charging in and taking everyone down. And then if you pick as Nayo, you're gonna be more ninja like and do your ninja stuff. So that'll be interesting.
It's almost dark. No one will see me coming.
They will not stand a chance. But be careful in there.
Don't worry. I won't be alone. It'll be me and the shadows.
Careful in there.
Oh, in there. I thought you
Don't
told her
worry.
name.
I won't be alone. It'll be me and the shadows.
Wait, hold on. There's also something. Hold on.
It'll be me and the shadows.
Chance. But be careful in there.
Don't worry.
Because hold on.
I won't be alone.
Her teeth look a little like yellowed. And I was trying to see if they gave Yasuke the white ass teeth.
It'll be me and the shadows.
In the shadows. To serve the light.
It's so dumb. That right there was dumb.
I'll go straight for the daimyo. When fighting a snake, why wrestle the body when you can slice off the head?
So as you can see, Eagle Vision is back. It's no longer you don't get to put your head inside a fucking other eagle and do it that way. You actually have actual Eagle Vision, which is fucking nice. All right. Going back to a classic Assassin's Creed. Yeah, so she's got that. It looks one of her weapons is that sickle shit and ball chain. And she obviously, as you can see, she uses that as a rope thing. That's be kind of cool. Gives you a little more opportunities for shit. Now, I wonder if you're going to be able to use your blade as a weapon itself. So we'll see if that ends up being the case later on in the game. Right now, you pick between her blade and the sickle bald combo. So that's kind of interesting now. That's a new mechanic where instead of just going into the grass and you just crouch and no one can see you well, now it looks like she ends up army crawling. So she can army crawl and makes it more believable that she's actually hitting. So that's kind of cool. Even cooler if you could do that, without having to go into this, into the grass. You can be on top of a rooftop and go prone and crawl that way. That'd be kind of cool.
You're mine now, Snake.
Okay, so I just want to go back to that part. Okay, so I'm not sure if you got to do something particular to bring those up. It looks like you have a variety of options. You got a noisemaker. Looks like that's a kunai, and then a ninja star and a smoke bomb. Is your options. So I don't know if you have to click pull left trigger to start doing the. I'm guessing that's what you're gonna have to do is pull left triggered for aiming and to bring out your options for this. But now you have more options when it comes to range weapons that you can pick while you're in aim mode. So that's kind of cool. That's a new mechanic here is disabling lights with your ninja star or with your ranged weapon. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of nice, and obviously it adds a distraction while also making more shadows. So that's kind of cool.
Who did that?
Who is it? Alright, so it looks like we're still having the same mechanic of using the right bumper if you're on Xbox or R1 if you're on PlayStation to do your assassination. That was kind of cool. So she threw her little rope shickle thing and pulled herself towards him. That's kind of cool. So that's a good way to, get a distance and then pull yourself to him. Because normally, all other rope weapons, it looks, if I remember correctly, you threw it at them and then you pulled them towards yourself. Now you can throw it at them and pull yourself to them, which is nice. And then do an instant assassination as we just saw. That was, and again, we see more of this sickle and chain combo where she's doing free running and then she uses it to get herself in even higher without having to just climb on these wood pallets. So that's kind of cool. Using it more like a grappling hook as well. It's a very versatile weapon. And it looks like so basically it's kind of like the grapple launcher from Syndicate, where you hit left L1 or left bumper, and that'll help you launch yourself up. But instead of obviously propelling yourself up where you don't have to do much, you actually have to move it up just like a rope. So that's kind of interesting.
He cannot seem to stay in his quarters. Yes. You dig himself a trench with those nightly footsteps. That poor grave.
A grave, huh?
Shit, you're gonna get seen. So apparently now you're grabbing is you just throw a rope around them like a garrote and then you drag them. That was kind of funny. Throw a rope, I'm gonna drag you. And it looks like you can do that to because I don't think those are enemies. They're just I guess maybe lookouts. Maybe that's the archetype. I don't know if they'll actually end up battling you or anything like that. But to me, it looks like you can just do that to a normal NPC. It's kind of cool. Yeah. That's, nice old blow out the candle type stuff. And if you didn't notice, there's that eye thing. That's basically going to be your whether you can be seen or not meter. Nice old stab through the paper door thing. That's kind of cool. That's pretty cool. I wonder if you have to use your sword or if you can use your hidden blade for that too. Hidden blade to make a bunch of noise, sword to make it a little quieter.
He's coming. I need to hide.
Yeah, this sickle and chain ball chain, whatever combo is going to be really useful. As you can see, you throw it up and you can use it as a regular weapon. You can pull yourself to one of your targets, assassinate them that way. You can use it to climb up higher places. You can use it to what's the word I'm looking for? You can use it to help yourself get up on a beam. It's kind of cool. Should have killed him. She's gonna see the guy she just killed. Very sloppy ninja. Very curious what her special abilities are. What is this, like a chain attack? I'm guessing you can just simply kick someone with that one, and I don't know what this one is.
Useless, all of you. First, dies in the street at the hands of some stranger.
See, so as we can see, it's that there might actually end up confirming what I was saying. That even due to his status and everything, and maybe plus also helping oppressed people, that he's not really gonna be, he was just some stranger, not some giant who took out my men, with painted skin or anything like that. It was just some stranger, which would automatically make someone think of a stranger as in, some random dude. Doesn't necessarily mean the black guy. So it might, this might be actually proving my theory of the bias that the Japanese people might have against Yasuke, which makes him ideal for an assassin. I could be wrong again. Still, I don't know.
And then you serve me scalding tea. Besides ruining its delicate flavor, I nearly lose my tongue for business.
Fujioka must have been the samurai Yasuke took out. Good riddance.
Take your tongue.
Oh yeah, nice.
A daimyo like that deserves a slower death than the one I'm about to give him.
So I don't know if that's actually I don't know. It's interesting, but again, we see her go prone and then go into the water. That's really cool, honestly. You limit your sight, being able to be seen, and then crawl into the water. And you can still crawl underwater. Yeah, I don't think she's actually swimming. I think she can just crawl underwater. So that's again, it's very cool. That's even cooler. Now you get a freaking wooden reed that you can put up into the surface and blow and breathe through that, so you can stay underwater longer without being constrained by all of a sudden, oh shit, I'm dying, or I'm losing oxygen, I'm dying slowly. If an enemy comes around staring at you and you don't want to pop out yet, that's kind of cool. That's a good mechanic. And back when you're killing the final target, you're doing the classic. Now we're going to see some of the actual, we've seen the more of, traversing use of it. Now we're seeing it actually attack. Looks like she's using the ball part, which obviously is a classic use of it, is as your range part, and now when she gets close, you'll use the sickle part. It's cool. Okay, now we just saw a whirlwind attack.
Nice. I've shed all the blood I need. Time to go.
What? No. More blood.
You being allies then.
I like this fucking caption. Open world sizzle. That's funny. All right. You know what? Actually. Let's see. Got one more thing I want to watch with you guys. This is from the Xbox Showdown Showcase, whatever. And no, it's not. It's not Black Ops 6, which I'm sure will be interesting. Really? Why? How hard is this? Really? Fine. So this was the surprising thing for me when I looked at the trailers. What's this next one? Another series I'm very a fan of. My disappointment when it comes to before we get into this, but my disappointment when it comes to what's it called? Ubisoft Forward is there was no Splinter Cell. I mean, apparently there's a talk of Splinter Cell, the first game being a remake. Very disappointed in that. Still play it, but disappointed in that. But at least from Xbox games, we got a good got something cool coming. Another series I'm a fan of. Very classic Gears of War. Now this one is awesome because it's gonna be a prequel. So this is gonna be following the E-Day. It looks like it's shortly after the end of the war that the COG was having with the UIR. So that'll be interesting. And it's just after Emergence Day, or maybe shortly after Emergence Day. So we might. So obviously we're gonna see a young Marcus and a young Dom. Good case where I'm probably not going to see any Baird or Cole, unless they want to rewrite everything, which I hope not. Although I would like to see a Baird and a Cole. I would like to just follow Marcus and Dom and see some of their, the guys they rolled with prior to Marcus being in prison. That'd be interesting. Hope that happens. I hope they don't rewrite everything and make. Oh no, Baird's part of it was with Marcus and Cole. They know about him prior to because they didn't really meet until after Marcus gets out of prison. So I hope it's like that. And you can see now he's kind of struggle with them. He's very inexperienced with this type of fighter because he's getting his ass handed to him. What's great is you can tell he's really young, and it's obviously before his jail time. There's no, and his classic scar isn't there. His face is less lined. He's getting his ass handed to him. We can see there's no chainsaw, just the bayonet. It's an old, again, this is prior to E-Day, didn't have the chainsaw bayonet because they didn't really use it, or there was no need for it. They only developed, Marcus's father only developed it after, a while after E-Day. So that became interesting. We could also see a young Ty Callisto, who died in the second Gears of War. So that was cool. So first, we just see Marcus bandana. The first time we ever saw Marcus without a bandana was actually the end of Gears 3 after he lost his father. So that'll be interesting. So that's pretty cool. Right. So again, what's really great is it's showing his inexperience with handling this kind of enemy, where he got his ass handed to him. He got struggling. He's not bulked up like he was before, because he was just fighting normal humans. He didn't need to be as bulk as he needed to be. He didn't need to be basically a linebacker, where and he looks a little leaner than he does in the other Gears. Yeah, see, it looks a lot leaner. Okay, he looks like an average soldier. He doesn't have that football look where they end up looking now. Oh, dude, the music, Mad World. This is just rude. Okay, if I remember correctly, Mad World was what Dom died to. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I associate Mad World with Dom a lot. So maybe yeah. So as you can see, they're not as they're not football linebackers. So it's really cool. They're kind of distinguishing the difference. At least maybe that's what it looks like to me. They don't look like football linebackers to me. In the other Gears, where years after, they look like football linebackers. So, but that music score, Mad World, come on. Young. What's also cool is we're gonna get to see Sarah, but prior to Edith, we're gonna see Sarah when it's not just a complete destroyed thing. That's pretty cool. More of a city. See a corpser right there. That's kind of cool. Some corpsers. Have a date. Playing the fuck out of Gears of War. No date. God damn it. Those bastards. Those sons of bitches. All right. So that's the end. So it'll be interesting. I can't wait for Gears of War E-Day. I know I'll have loads of fun with it. I might even stream game playing it prior like I normally do. So playing some Gears of War prior to this one. Play them all. Let's see. Okay, so no release date yet. Sucks. Okay, yeah, I was right. So yeah, when Dom kills him, sacrifices himself, Tears of Fear and Gary's Jules Mad World plays in the background. So I was right. So yeah, so it makes that song even more. It's Dom's sing song, Mad World. So yeah, there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. And yeah, so what do you guys think about the latest games? What do you think about the Hunter Biden's conviction? He was found guilty on all 3 counts. Not really surprising. Do you believe the Twitter people who are trying to compare this to Donald Trump and saying that, this was a just conviction, so you can't really, wasn't a political hit job if we do it to Donald Trump? Not really true. Because there's some distinct differences. I wanted to try and point that. I wanted to point that out. that's why I went through it all. It shows some really the distinguishes between Trump's conviction and Hunter Biden's conviction. So, anyways, yeah. So, what do you guys think about all this? Hope you have a good day. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give me a follow, and yeah, I'll be trying to stream more. I know I didn't stream the last couple days. Yeah. So I hope you all have a good day. Peace out, and I will see you all another day. Peace. See you later.